Stop thinking of your body as a bottomless pit that needs constant filling. A better way to see it is like a busy warehouse, where delivery trucks keep arriving all day long. Boxes stack higher and higher, and there is never time to clean or organize. Some people choose eating patterns that create longer breaks between meals, such as one meal a day. The deliveries pause, and the system finally has time to catch up. Your body finally gets the chance to use what is already stored and tidy things up inside. It is not about starving yourself. It is about giving your system the space to work smarter. The clock begins the moment you finish your last bite. From that point forward, your body starts processing the food you just ate. For the first few hours, your digestive system is working steadily behind the scenes. Proteins are broken down into amino acids, carbohydrates are converted into glucose, and these nutrients enter your bloodstream to supply energy throughout the body. During this stage, your pancreas releases insulin. You can think of insulin as a traffic controller that guides energy from the bloodstream into your cells. When insulin levels rise, your body focuses on using the fresh fuel that has just arrived. Cells absorb glucose to power everyday functions, while any extra energy is stored for later use. Some of that stored energy becomes glycogen in the liver and muscles. Glycogen acts like quick cash in a wallet. It is easy for your body to access when it needs a small burst of energy between meals, but the supply is limited. At this point, everything feels normal. Your body is simply using the energy from your recent meal while preparing for what comes next. Between hour 4 and 12, things inside your body begin to quiet down. The surge of energy from your last meal gradually fades, and insulin levels slowly start to drop. The busy rush that followed eating begins to settle. Around this time, many people start to notice the first signals of hunger. The hormone ghrelin can rise, which may cause a light stomach rumble or a slight drop in comfort or focus. It can feel dramatic in the moment, but in most cases, your body is simply adjusting to the absence of new food. A helpful way to picture this stage is to imagine a car switching from its main fuel source to a backup reserve. When your liver senses that no new nutrients are arriving, it begins releasing stored glycogen. Glycogen is the quick energy reserve your body saved earlier in the day. This stored fuel helps keep your blood sugar steady while your body continues its normal functions. As these reserves gradually decrease, your metabolism prepares for the next stage of energy use. This is usually the moment when the first real hunger wave appears. Sometime around hour 6 to 8 after your last meal, many people begin to feel what seems like a small crisis. The strong wave of energy from the meal has mostly faded, and the body is no longer running on the same immediate fuel supply. As insulin levels settle down, the internal rush that followed eating becomes quieter. At this point, the hormone ghrelin may rise and send a signal that feels like hunger. You might notice a rumbling stomach or a brief dip in mood or patience. For many people, this moment feels urgent, as if the body desperately needs food right away. In reality, your system is usually just adjusting to the change. A useful way to picture it is like a car shifting from its main fuel tank to a backup reserve. If you give your body a little time, your liver begins releasing glycogen that was stored earlier. This stored energy helps keep blood sugar stable and supports normal activity. In simple terms, your body starts using the energy it saved earlier instead of relying only on new fuel. After many hours without food, glycogen stores may begin to decrease as the body gradually shifts toward other energy sources. Those easy reserves that once acted like cash in your wallet are now running low. At this stage, your body faces an important transition in how it finds energy. Human metabolism is built to adapt when food is not immediately available. As insulin levels settle down to a lower baseline, signals inside the body begin to shift. This change allows your metabolism to gradually rely less on recently eaten food and more on stored energy. One of the key processes involved is the activation of enzymes that help release fatty acids from stored fat tissue. These fatty acids can then travel through the bloodstream and be used by different organs as fuel. In simple terms, your body begins tapping into the energy it stored earlier. Instead of relying only on yesterday's meal, it starts using its own internal reserves. This shift marks the point where the body becomes more comfortable drawing from long-term energy stores. As the fast moves into the 14 to 16-hour window, many people notice that the experience begins to feel different. Earlier, hunger signals often fade, and energy can start to feel more steady. When the body relies mostly on frequent meals, energy sometimes rises and falls throughout the day. During longer gaps without food, the body may begin drawing more from stored fat, which can provide a more stable source of fuel. As fat is broken down, the liver can produce compounds called ketones. These molecules can serve as an alternative energy source for the brain and other tissues. Because of this shift, some people report feeling clearer or more focused during this stage, though the exact experience can vary from person to person. Instead of feeling drained, many describe a sense of steady alertness. From a biological perspective, the body is simply adapting to a different fuel supply. Your metabolism is learning to rely not only on incoming food, but also on the energy it has carefully stored over time. During longer periods without food, researchers often study a cellular process called autophagy, which is involved in normal cellular maintenance. During this stage, the focus inside the body gradually shifts away from digestion and toward internal housekeeping. You can imagine it like a large factory that has paused incoming deliveries and decided to inspect everything already sitting in storage. Instead of bringing in new materials, the system starts examining older components that may be worn out, damaged, or no longer working efficiently. At the cellular level, autophagy involves breaking down certain outdated or dysfunctional parts so their raw materials can be reused. Misfolded proteins, aging cellular structures, and other unnecessary components can be taken apart and recycled into smaller building blocks that the body can use again. Scientists continue to study how this natural process supports normal cellular maintenance. While experiences vary from person to person, this stage is often described as a time when the body shifts attention inward, focusing more on repair, organization, and renewal rather than constant digestion. Entering the deeper phase between hour 20 and 22, many people start hearing a common concern. Some believe the body might begin breaking down muscle for fuel once food has been absent for this long. In reality, the body is designed to protect its most valuable tissues whenever possible. A simple way to picture it is like a factory that still has plenty of stored firewood in the warehouse. It would make little sense to start burning the furniture when a large supply of fuel is already available. Because of this, the body activates several protective responses during longer fasting periods. One of the most discussed responses involves a hormone called human growth hormone, often shortened to HGH. Some research has observed temporary changes in hormones, such as human growth hormone, during fasting, though scientists are still studying what these changes mean for long-term metabolism. At the same time, insulin levels remain relatively low. This combination creates a metabolic environment where stored fat becomes a more accessible fuel source, while the body continues working to maintain important structures like muscle tissue and organs. Near the 23-hour mark, the body has already spent many hours operating without new food arriving. Digestion has remained quiet for most of the day, giving the system time to focus on other internal processes instead of constantly handling incoming nutrients. During this stage, many people notice that their energy feels surprisingly stable. Earlier hunger signals often fade, and the body appears to settle into a steady rhythm. Rather than relying on frequent meals, the metabolism has already shifted toward using stored energy that was saved earlier. Cells can also become more responsive to nutrients after a long break from eating. A helpful way to imagine this is like a dry sponge that is ready to absorb water. When food finally arrives again, the body may handle those nutrients more efficiently than when it is constantly being supplied. Mentally, some people report a sense of calm, alertness, or clearer focus during this period. Instead of exhaustion, the body often feels balanced. It is simply operating on a different rhythm, one where stored energy supports normal activity until the next meal arrives. When the clock finally reaches hour 23, the fasting window comes to an end and it is time to eat. This is also the moment where some people may unintentionally undo the benefits of the fast. In reality, this meal works best when it is approached with a little intention. After many hours without food, the body may respond more strongly to what you eat next. If the meal is packed with sugary drinks or heavily processed foods, blood sugar can rise quickly and leave you feeling sluggish afterward. Instead, it often helps to start with foods that provide steady nutrition. Beginning with a source of protein such as eggs, fish, or other whole foods can help supply amino acids the body uses to maintain and repair tissues. Adding healthy fats from foods like avocados or olive oil may also support a more balanced meal and help with satiety. Including vegetables, leafy greens, or fermented foods can add fiber and important micronutrients. When meals focus on nutrient-dense foods, many people find it easier to feel satisfied and stop eating naturally. Shifting into this lifestyle usually requires a short period of adjustment as the body gradually adapts to using energy in a different way. During this time, your metabolism learns to rely more on stored fuel instead of constant incoming food. The liver may begin producing more ketones, and the body slowly becomes better at switching between different energy sources. a trait often described as metabolic flexibility. In the early days, some people notice mild symptoms such as headaches, fatigue, or lower energy. These experiences can happen as the body adjusts to lower insulin levels and changes in hydration and electrolyte balance. For many people, staying well hydrated and maintaining adequate electrolytes can help reduce these temporary discomforts. Some people choose to pay attention to hydration and electrolyte balance during fasting periods, which they may find helpful during this transition. Everyone responds differently, so it is important to pay attention to how your body feels. Because fasting can place stress on the body, it is wise to approach it carefully. Anyone with health concerns should speak with a qualified healthcare professional before making major dietary changes. This content is for educational purposes only and is not medical advice. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe to support the channel. Thanks for the support.